Right now, Congress could pass an abortion law that pro-lifers have been waiting for years. But the big question is, will this measure make it through the Senate and onto President Trump's desk? The House of Representatives has passed Micah's Law. This is a long-awaited piece of pro-life legislation that would ban abortion after 20 weeks of gestation. This is the point where preborn children are believed to feel pain, which would also mean that they would feel the agonizing snips and tears from an abortionist's tools as their lives are taken away from them. And before anyone says that this measure is an extreme one, keep in mind that worldwide, the United States is in a very small minority when it comes to these kinds of procedures. Right now, the United States is only one of 7 countries that allow abortions to happen this late during a pregnancy. The other 6, China, North Korea, Vietnam, Canada, Singapore, and the Netherlands. The law is named after Micah Pickering, a little boy who was born at just 20 weeks gestation. And despite what the doctors said at the time, Micah survived his premature birth and just recently celebrated another birthday.
He was 5 years old, and he was as full of life when he was born as he is now, just a lot smaller.
Just want to say on the issue of late-term abortion is just look at that baby. That is fully formed. That baby has a heartbeat, that baby has a brain and kicks and does hiccups. The world will never be the same without that little baby.
And she's right. Micah even made it to Capitol Hill with his parents to push for the passage of this bill into law so that other children like him might be spared from these extremely late-term abortions. But while Micah's law has passed the House of Representatives and it has the full-throated support of the President of the United States, it now goes to Mitch McConnell's Senate, which has recently become a place where hopes, dreams, and conservative legislation go to die. Will Republican leadership be able to get this bill through the upper chamber and put it on President Trump's desk? I sat down earlier with its House sponsor, Congressman Trent Franks, to discuss the issue. Why is it so important?
With all of the debate around the pro-life issue or the issue of protecting the unborn or abortion, isn't there really some just really basic questions? And that is, are these little people we're trying to protect, are they really children? Are they really human babies? If they are, if these really are little human American children, then we're in the midst of the greatest genocide in the history of our country.
Some of the bill's opponents have pushed back, saying that unborn children can't feel pain at 5 months or 20 weeks after conception, that it's junk science.
Well, first of all, their arguments are hysterical. We named this bill after a little guy named Micah. He was born at 20 weeks after conception. That's 20 weeks after conception. So to suggest that all of a sudden, the moment he passed down the birth control, now all of a sudden he can feel pain, but he couldn't 10 seconds earlier, is just hysterical. It's just a complete false argument, and they should be ashamed of making that argument, but I understand why they do. Because if these little babies really do feel pain, then their argument becomes a very dark, evil kind of argument that sets aside the humaneness in any political discussion.
During our interview, Franks told me that the bill could pass the Senate, but that its 2 biggest enemies right now are Senate Democrats ready to kill it with a filibuster and a GOP leadership willing to let them run the show.
Well, I truly believe this is a test of Senator McConnell's leadership. He has already admitted clearly that the filibuster is not a principled issue. They hide behind this filibuster rule, this motion to proceed to consider, and with their indigenous advantages as being an incumbent, then it makes it almost impossible to defeat them. So now the question is, will he back away from this effort to maintain the, quote, traditions of the Senate at the cost of the blood and suffering of little innocent children trying just to get into the light and the breath of life? If he chooses to hide behind the filibuster, some of us will do everything that we can to change that in his mind or change him.
What if Mitch McConnell can't pass this bill?
If we as an American people and a U.S. Senate, a U.S. Congress, and a White House, if we cannot find the political will and the courage to protect these, the most helpless of all human beings, then in the final analysis, I don't think we'll find the will or the courage to protect any kind of liberty for anyone, and we do not deserve to govern.